Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at something I've been using for quite a while now that I think is sadly sort of been dropped by the people who make it to a point, which sucks, but that's what it is. And that is this. Okay. You've gotten into the digital world of guitar, right? But you want something to give you that feel of having an amp, right? You want some sound on the stage, whatever it is. Now, when this first came out, there weren't a lot of options per se, but now you've got tons of options as far as FR cabs. You can get the Tone X cab, you can get the Fender Tone Master, I think it's called. They got one, it's an FR cab. Laney makes one that's like a 4x12, that's actually really cool looking, but beside the point. But this was one of the first FR guitar cabinets that got put out there, right? To my knowledge, anyway. I'm not exactly a historian or anything, but I think this was one of the first ones to come out that was an FR cab specifically designed at guitarists, right? That is the Line6 Powercab. Now, I have the Powercab 112 Plus, so we're going to look at that. They're all kind of similar to a point. Of course, they've got some now called the CL, I think they are, and they actually don't have the speaker modeling. They're just like a guitar speaker. So they're something different. They're not really an FR, but they kind of are, and they're kind of not. They're their own little thing, I guess. We're talking about the Powercab and the Powercab Plus. They have what's called speaker modeling built into them. So it has an FR speaker in there, and whatever else. And it has different modes you can put it in that emulate different types of speakers. So I'm going to play the same patch on the Helix through each of those speakers. Not going to necessarily play the same thing because that's kind of boring. It's not really the point of this, just so you can hear what they sound like. But so the speakers in the Helix are off. Now, you can also load this thing up with IRs, which is pretty cool. If you don't want to put them on the Helix, or if you're running out of room on the Helix, or whatever, you can load up IRs on the Powercab itself and use those. The only thing with that is that it is kind of picky as to which IRs it'll take. Like, it has to be a specific megahertz and whatever else, and I don't know the technical jargon. I just know some of them I try to load up, it says fails to load, and I looked it up why, and it says it's because they have to be this certain type. So, and it's been long enough since I looked that up that I don't remember what it is, so keep that in mind. You may not be able to load the IR onto the Powercab, but if it loads on there, then you can just use that as your speaker. Or you can use it in flat mode, which is the FRFR, flat response. In other words, if you're using the speaker emulations in your modeler or an IR, then you want to use the flat mode. But we're going to look at these 6 speaker emulations that are built in. Now, these are not IRs. They're actually, they call them Powercab speaker models. There's 12 of them. The first one is the Vintage, which is based on the, you can probably guess this one, it's based on a Vintage 30. It's kind of the standard for modern metal sort of sounds. And the way I'm doing all this is instead of doing the USB out of the back of the Powercab, just for the fun of it, I actually have a mic set up at about a foot away from it. So it's mic'd up like you would with a regular guitar cab. I don't know if it's going to sound as good as the USB or not, but I just figured I'd do it for the heck of it since I am doing sort of the speaker thing. So, first one we're going to look at here, like I said, is the Vintage mode based on the Celestion Vintage 30. Alright, now for the second speaker model we have, it's called the Green mode. And again, you can probably guess what this is. It's based on a greenback, the same model that would have come in the Plexi cabs. So, there it is. this next one is going to be called the Cream mode. And again, you can probably guess what it's based on, right? It's based on the Creamback Celestia G12M65. It's a different Celestian speaker. It's one that's pretty well known, so let's see what it sounds like. Alright, and this next one is the Jarvis, which is based on a Jensen P12Q, which was often used in Fender amps. So, you know, like Bassmans, that sort of thing. Now, this particular one, I am not doing Fender amp. I'm using a Marshall. This is sort of the dirty tones version. I'm going to do another version of this video with clean tones, and then I'll probably use a Fender amp. So you'll get to hear what this sounds like with Fender, but not right now. And this next one is based on, it's called the Bayou, and it's based on an Eminence Patriot Series Swamp Thang speaker. And this next one is the Essex mode, which is based on the Alnico, if I'm pronouncing that right, Bluebell from like the Vox amps. So it's a Vox speaker basically. This next one is called Natural mode, which is the natural sound and feel of the speaker in the Powercab with the high frequency tweeter turned off and no EQ of any kind applied. So this is like just the FRCab but without the tweeter thing. I don't know what that means exactly, but give it a listen. This next one is the Dino, which is based on the Eminence Cannabis Rex, which is the hemp-based speaker. So give it a listen. This next one is based on the, or it's called the Lecto, and it's based on an Electro Voice EVM 12L, which is generally used a lot in like Mesa Boogie. So give it a listen. This next one is the Herald, which is based on a Celestion G12 H55 Heritage speaker. It's similar to a greenback, but has a heavier magnet, it says. So, let me know what you think. This next one is the Brown model, which is based on the Celestion G12 EVH, so the Eddie Van Halen greenback speakers they made. Let me know what you think. This next one is the Shade, which is based on the Mesa Boogie Black Shadow C90 speakers, which are custom made for Mesa Boogie. Alright, and this is the last one of the 12. It is the Jetson, which is based on a Jensen C12K, which is another one that's often used with Fenders, so it might sound a little odd with this one, but we'll get to the clean Fendery sound later. Right now, let's see what it sounds like with a Marshall. Alright, and that is all 12 of the speaker models in the Powercab Plus. They're pretty cool, and you can, if you use the Line6 link, you can actually set it up where when you switch to between one preset to another, one preset can use the Bayou, one preset can use the green, the next preset can use the Dino. Preset after that, you can have it switch to the flat mode and use one of your built-in cabs. So it's very versatile, and you can also load up acoustic IRs. I have a few of them on there. So if you were playing an acoustic thing, you could technically plug your acoustic directly into the back of that, like an amp, turn on one of those IRs and give it that the sound of whatever IR you got in there, which is a pretty cool option too. So that is our Powercab Plus. And these are probably the thing that sets it apart from all the other FR options out there. You know, the Tonex cab does not have that. The Fender, or whatever it's called, does not have that. Delaney 412 with the LED lights that can be synced up to the sound, which is super cool. At least I think they can. Does not have that. So the Powercab is a very cool thing. It's reasonably priced. I mean, it's priced the same as the Tonex cab, and I think it's got more options. So I don't know why you'd get. I mean, I love my Tonex stuff, but I don't know why you get the Tonex cab when you could get one of these. It's just one guy's opinion. Let me know what you think down in the comments, and I'll do another video, like I said, in the future of the clean sounds for the same 12 amp models here. We'll do it with like a Fender or Vox or something cleany sounding, because, you know, you gotta have clean sounds too, right? Right? Anyway, y'all enjoy.